want to share a story about my life, and this is kind of vulnerable, especially if, say, my neighbor decides to watch this video. But this video is for that man or woman who is somewhere out there feeling defeated, alone, wondering if things can ever change, and stuck. I know what it's like. When I was 18 years old, I had a baby, and I had been in like a truly abusive relationship, and was able to get away. But I had this newborn baby, and I had a family that was not involved in my life much at that time. So there was a lot on my shoulders. And to be honest, I was living in a state of maybe terror, is how I would describe it. A low level feeling of extreme fear and devastation inside of my body all of the time. I'm sure you can imagine how that affected my ability to work, my ability to parent, my ability to have interpersonal relationships, because I was traumatized. I was terrorized, quite literally. I did go to therapy. In fact, I did quite a bit of therapy. Uh, and I will say that, yes, sometimes it did help, but it never actually changed the way that my nervous system processed things that happened to me. So, like, for example, let's say like I was at work and something came up, there was some kind of conflict. That conflict registered in my nervous system as life or death, right? All of my alarms went off in my system. And it was very hard for me to quiet them. And also, I would end up reacting or responding to all of those alarms in a romantic relationship. Because I had been gone through abandonment and abuse, if there were any signs of somebody, say, not being emotionally available, I became really anxious and afraid, and wanted to figure out how it is that I could change myself or better myself so that then I would be wanted, loved, or liked. It was a really hard period of my life, and it went on for many years. In fact, I would say it went on until I started utilizing these tools and techniques that I teach, um, to help shift my patterning, my nervous system patterning. And I did them consistently. And I did them consistently over a period of time. I didn't have a coach in the same way that I coach people, right? So, like, let's say you're in my 40-day program, then you see me every day, and we're going through uh, your patterns and showing up for you every single day. You're showing up for you, I'm showing up for you, to help you learn how to shift them over and over and over again. So instead of going into the behaviors you would typically go into, you're in this program, you're becoming really aware of your patterns and supporting your nervous system, sending your nervous system a lot of love, and then showing your nervous system that you're safe to actually have a different response. It's amazing what it does. But I didn't have a coach. So for me, I utilized the tools, their applied Kundalini yoga techniques, along with some other neuroscience backed techniques, and just repetition, right? Um, and one thing I want to share with you guys about that is that I was able to end rumination. And when things come up for me now, that maybe my nervous system, because of my old patterning, my nervous system might think, oh, yeah, let's use this to ruminate on. I now have trained my nervous system to believe me when I say that we're going to be okay. It's not quite just that. It's not just me telling my nervous system that I'm okay. I'm going to actually give you guys a little bit of a tip here before I end this video. I just want you to know that You are not the only person who is suffering from these feelings of defeat, despair, or terror from things that happen to you in your life. You are not the only person that is experiencing those things directly impacting your relationships. And I want you to know that you are still valuable and lovable. And that while your individual issues are unique, the things that you've gone through are unique, right? The way you process them it is unique. I want you to understand that you are not an anomaly, that there's nothing wrong with you. Your brain and your nervous system have just been trained to function and behave in a certain way, and there is a way through and out of that. So hopefully that gives you some hope, and I am a testimony to that. I can tell you that I have seen it work in my life, and I've seen it work in the lives of so many of my clients. In fact, we have a really high track record of success. So, if nothing else, try this technique, okay? The next time that you notice you are getting really triggered, whether you're angry, sad, afraid, maybe you're noticing that you're thinking about something over and over and over again, I want you to sit down and put one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And I want you to breathe in through your nose, a long, deep breath, and out through your mouth. I want you to breathe like that for 90 seconds. Don't shortcut the time, at least 90 seconds, okay? 90 seconds to 3 minutes. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And I want you to see if you can experience what your body is feeling. Not the story of what happened, not all the thoughts that your brain wants to feed you, but quite literally what your body's experiencing. Here are some examples. Is your skin tingling? Does it feel zappy? Is your heart racing? Does your chest feel tight? Does your neck or shoulders feel tight? Do you have this experience like you want to run? Is your skin itchy? Is your head tingling? Does your stomach hurt? Right? You can have many symptoms or many, signals is what I call them, or maybe just a couple. Maybe you're not going to be really able to tell what your body's experiencing the first time you try. That's normal. People who have been through significant trauma struggle to identify what they're feeling and experiencing. They also struggle to identify the difference between their thoughts and their feelings. They also struggle to identify the difference between uncomfortable and danger. Okay, their nervous systems tend to just take them into danger. So I want you to be able to sit and experience what your body is feeling for 90 seconds to 3 minutes while you do long, deep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. I'm going to share some science with you. This technique is going to quiet your amygdala. Your amygdala is a part of the brain that talks to or sends information through your nervous system, especially related to stress. When the amygdala starts firing, there are certain chemicals that start to go through your body that will put you in a state of fight or flight. So, by doing this long, deep breathing exercise and just allowing yourself to experience all the signals your body is sending to you, it tells your nervous system you're listening to the signal, and the amygdala starts to calm down and it stops sending those big doses of stress hormones through the body. It helps support your frontal and prefrontal cortex, which are related to peace, well being, and rational thinking. It teaches your nervous system that it is safe to feel uncomfortable. After you experience what your body is feeling for 90 seconds to 3 minutes, I want you to then identify the feeling. Don't go into the story, okay? But identify the feeling: anxiety, fear, anger, sadness, depression, loneliness, apathy, guilt, shame, right? Maybe actually you're feeling good when you do this, because you can also do this when you're feeling good and identify what your body's experiencing and name the feeling, okay? But you want to stay out of the story. We're just feeling what the body's experiencing, identifying it. Then you're going to thank your nervous system. Thank you for showing me that you want me to be aware that something's off. I hear you. I'm going to take really good care of us. And then I want you to do this. It's going to sound so simple. You're going to be like, what, Dana? But I want you to do this. I want you to internally, I want you to tell your mind what you want it to focus on. Okay? Thank you so much for sharing that information with me. I hear you, and I'm going to take things seriously, and I'll take it as it comes. Thank you. I hear that you think that that is dangerous. I think that we're okay. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. I will navigate it well. I'll do my best. And right now, brain, what I'd really like you to do is focus on listening to this song with me, because I really love this song. Or I want you to focus on how beautiful that tree is outside. Or maybe it's, I want you to focus on the dishes. Or, nervous system, thank you so much for showing me that. Yes, I can see how that is scary. But right now, I want you to focus on the children. I want to sit with the children. Please focus on that. Here's the thing. You might need to do this a few times. You might need to do it every day, 4 times a day for a couple weeks. But I promise you, if you continue to do this practice, you will train your brain and your nervous system, which is simply relatable. Like, you can relate your brain and your nervous system to a computer program. If you can do this, you will start to retrain your nervous system. Remember, it's not about what happened to us, it's how we've integrated it through our nervous system. Well, maybe it's a little bit about what happened to us, because that's part of what makes us who we are, and it's part of our story. But when we allow ourselves to process our feelings and hold it, and we learn we're safe to be uncomfortable, whatever it is that's happening gets to be integrated and settles down, and it doesn't become part of that never-ending, tumultuous, ruminating feedback